How's it going? We are continuing this series where we're taking a look at top government contractors. Uh, Defense is one of those areas, but it's just because there's a lot of opportunities currently, and some of those governments up there are looking to increase, or just because if one country does increase, it seems like the rest of the countries need to increase their spending as well. And if anything, from time to time, they need to upgrade their overall all the hardware, software to train new people when it comes to defense, right? Either way, so it's an ongoing process. So I'm gonna be taking a look in this video at next company. That would be QinetiQ and what this company does. QinetiQ is a British multinational defense technology company that provides research and development, testing, and consulting services in defense, security, and aerospace domains. So that perhaps would be core areas of expertise and where this company is focused at. Let's take a look at the company's website and what kind of information might be able to find on the website. If information the way how it's gonna be very like promo and salesy, I'm gonna have to skip it. So I'm gonna check, right. We offer our customers world-class expertise in advice, services, particularly test and evaluation, and innovative technologies-based products. So there's a lot of information, right? So I'm gonna have to skip a lot of that. So it's a very customer centric again. So which is good. That's a good strategy to take. If anything, there would be some takeaways there, as well as people. QinetiQ is a company of over 6,000 people dedicated to being on the side of their customers. Okay, again, customer centric. I mean, if anything, there's 6,000 people out there. If anything, they're separate from what I understand, independent company, right? So if you were to ask for any of the companies up there to build something, right, or any of the companies to purchase products or services, right, you might be interested in hiring a separate company as a type of contract as a guarantee that all the products or services would be up to the standard on the ideally you might be interested in hiring an independent company, right, who can evaluate everything that it was delivered on agreed terms and conditions. That's my personal understanding. So I don't know if it's accurate. That's my personal understanding when it comes to what this company does, right? So if they are company that provides research and development, testing, and consulting services. So that's how I understand it. But that's not necessarily needs to be limited to that. Perhaps you can reach out to this company, if anything, and see if you have a very particular request and if this company will be able to fulfill that request. QinetiQ was formed in July 2001, so this company has been operating for quite some time, right? So then the Minister of Defense (MOD) split in Defense Evaluation and Research Agency DERA into two. A smaller portion of DERA was rebranded DSTL, Defense Science and Technology Laboratory. Well, all right. So it had to split, right? So it just depending of core confidence within the companies. If any takeaways, some of these companies I wish I could do business with, but some of the contractual agreements are way too much. If it's possible to simplify some of those contracts, if it's possible. Since currently, I believe depending on again on when you are watching this video, it sometimes can be 9 pages, right? Way too much, way too much. But again, that's why it would be a limited factor of doing business with some of those companies. I wish I could do a good business with all those companies that I'm covering in these brief videos. But yeah, so in particular, perhaps I need to reach out to this company to understand a little bit better. But even if, hopefully, perhaps there is a requirement, right, for some of those contracts to be so lengthy when it comes to some of the terms and conditions. but it's way too much. From my personal understanding, it's way too much. There's a lot of information about ownership of the company and who actually owns the company. Perhaps worth taking a look at that. It's good that they have highlighted that and who owns the company and when the company was listed. Uh, if you are interested, I would highly recommend to do your own research. If anything, let's touch on other things. The name QinetiQ, if I'm pronouncing it right, results from extensive analysis of all of our capabilities and strengths. It is derived from the scientific term kinetic, okay, which means relating to or causing by motion. Okay. This is in turn comes from the Greek kinetos, based on kine, kineo, which means to move, which with connection towards an energetic, enterprising, and dynamic QinetiQ. Again, I'm taking this information from a company's website, as well as I was doing some research before on different sources, and it was completely different. So I get it. It might be an interesting factor when it comes to energy. Motion equals to equal motion, all that good stuff. And when it comes to scientists, putting all the work into naming process. Some of the more interesting things worth mentioning when it comes to perhaps some of the projects that what they have accomplished. Something is information from the company's website. That will be Formidable Shield of 2023, successfully complete in May. Again, there's so much information out perhaps worth reading for shareholders of the company, but overall, how I'm understanding and some of the obstacles from some of those technologies up there. And if I know it, those people do know it about the shortcomings of some of those shield technologies. It's good that they're working on those, but perhaps changing ammunition, making ammunition more cheaper, as well as not necessarily limiting yourself when it comes to collaboration. Currently, this project, as far as I know, is working only with UK and US, since it's partly owned by some of the US companies, perhaps, or shareholders, but perhaps working with Australia as well, and looking for some of the capabilities of that and some of the projects that they're working on that, if anything. There might be some takeaways there, and how they're looking to improve some of the shielded technologies. It might be the new trend. Since some of those so some of the people who are interested in testing those shields, right? There's a lot of information up there online how those shield technologies can be overcome by sheer numbers, if anything. And defense systems can be very expensive, right? So there's some shortcomings, but perhaps these people who develop this technology know that themselves and how they can overcome those technologies. If anything, I have touched on this before, where I personally believe that if there would be any company who would be able to take a pilot from the airplane or fighter jet or whatever it would be, unmanned area vehicle, if any company would be able to remove the need of having a pilot inside the cockpit, inside the airplane, right? By solving this problem, those companies could potentially offer a lot of value, as well as saving a lot of lives, right? So I see a lot of value in that. But this company, I'm not entirely sure if they are producing anything. Perhaps they might be interested to oversee some of those projects, but not entirely sure if they are working together when it comes to research and development, something that was highlighted on this company's website. But if any company perhaps would be able to solve this problem, and this company would check quality, making sure that the prototype actually works. So there's a need of that as well. And perhaps, if anything, I see a lot of benefit that some of those companies can solve for large groups of people when outsourcing everything to technology. If anything, there would not necessarily need of, I don't know, 18, sometimes 20-year-olds sitting into those fighter jets and risking their lives, right? So I see a lot of value in outsourcing that only to technology. So perhaps there would be some options there available, as well as there is some information published on the company's website where they have presented with a project that would be QinetiQ launch Jackdaw UAS concept to provide significant and affordable combat mass and battle space capabilities. Then it says affordable. I'm not entirely sure what they mean by that, since I don't know what is affordable. Some of those drones that other countries manufacture, though, would be about 20,000, 40,000. So if that's a price range that we're talking about, or we're talking affordable, as affordable for a government, 5 governments. Some of those fighter jets, right? So that can be price range about 40 million, sorry, 40 million. So that's affordable. But either way. So who cares? Yeah. So who cares? Because there's a lot of potential of a lot of governments. Even yesterday, India looking to upgrade its all of the airspace capabilities, and India is looking at helicopters, right? Some of those helicopters were, from what I understand, information that I have looked at, some of the fleet it would be over 45 years or so. So perhaps, if anything, if any of those companies can solve this problem, can perhaps support other governments as well, but not would I don't know, because the developing prototype can cost 40 million to develop prototype, but if they can manufacture at scale, right? I have all the answers, right? So there's a lot of opportunities there. If they can, together with some of the top companies out there within the US, manufacture some of those airplanes, not necessarily limited to US companies, but there's a lot of opportunities there for grabs, right? Whoever can do it, if anything. If you like to learn more about fundamentals when it comes to developing yourself, I have published a course. I have highlighted 12 different areas that will be very important for all the people out there when you are looking to develop yourself. Most of the things that I'm sharing within this course haven't been taught in school, which I personally believe should be very important for all individuals out there. In particular, some of those areas which we would all learn in school, why we can't learn more about budget, right? Or developing a budget, having a budget, overseeing a budget, important parts of the budget, how to structure a budget. Even that, everyone deals with when it comes to money, right? Even within this channel, we talk a lot about having a business, developing a business, right? Perhaps if you were to begin with your personal budget and from there progress into how you can manage different budgets when it comes to different projects, right? Even that. But that's just one area out of 12 areas I'm looking to share with as many people as I can. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, or if you are interested, you can find more information in the link below. Just to summarize today's video, I'm covering some of the top performing companies out there. And it seems that this company has a significant presence in the United Kingdom, and global operations, not necessarily limited to those. Top players, if anything, that would be G7 countries, if anything, top players, right? Collaborating with various governments, agencies, defense forces, and commercial entities. Uh, it depends. Hopefully, this company has more opportunities, more work, if anything, when it comes to maintaining quality, overseeing quality, as well as some of the research and development work with different governments. There's a lot of opportunities. Perhaps those opportunities always there. Entry point might be very hard, right, when it comes to having access to some of those contracts. But once you're there, perhaps there's so many different. Uh, Governments, in particular right now, who are looking to invest in new technology, new hardware, new software, and there would be more people who should at least be interested in perhaps offering the products and services to those governments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.